Hello and welcome back, and this is a door lock from an old Range Rover. In fact, I think you can see, oh, there's the name, Rockwell. I thought it said British Leyland, but it doesn't. Anyway, it's an old Range Rover, it's an old one. I don't know much about the car, or cars in general, but yeah. So this is a broken lock, and it's got like some dual desiccant window there, which is rather intriguing. I guess it must be sort of rare, so you know, survive relatively harsh conditions. It's outside pretty much most of the time anyway. But it doesn't work. So the gaskets and all that have been peeled off. So let's take the cover off and see what's inside. And with the cover removed, we have a fairly standard motor with a worm drive that goes to the output shaft. And as I move it in and out, you can see how it would turn. Like so. So it moves the lever in and out as the motor turns. And the motor's got quite an interesting gearbox assembly on it, because the shaft of the motor isn't turning. In fact, it's an induction drive. So I've taken the motor out. 2 seconds. And this is the motor, which sat in there. It's now out. And you can see the actual gear is held in, and there's a clip on the gear with a little ring. And then there's 2 magnets that go around. So the motor actually drives these 2 magnets around and induce a current into that ring. And that's what gives it torque to turn. So that's how it can free turn without turning the motor. And I guess also that means that if you hold the unlock button or whatever it's doing and it just spins the motor randomly and it hits end stop, it doesn't kill the motor. Because the motor can just spin and let it spin. It's quite a clever idea really, but hey ho. Anyway, I think the motor's naff, so what I'm going to do is that's pulled out of there. So you've got little contacts there. Just going to put this on a power supply, see if the motor spins, which I should do now. So after a little bit of playing, I think I found it's a dead commutator. So if I set the camera up here, how am I going to do this? This is going to be tricky. Right. Anyway, I'm going to try and jab it with some wires whilst you're watching. And then we'll see if this works. Oh, poo. It's not working. There you go. Right, I'm on the connect contacts. And the motor's not running. But if I flick it and spin it, so it doesn't run. There you go. It's running. And if I take it off and back on, there you go. That's now dead now. And if I juggle it on and off and get to a point where I'm on the contacts, there you go, I'm on the contacts, but it's not running. And if I push it, there you go. If I push it, it spins, which was a really bad example. So what I think's happening is I think it's got a dirty commutator, or one of the brushes is a bit naff. And I have bought a replacement motor, but the shaft, unfortunately, is too short. And, you know, it's always bad to have a short shaft. But what I think I can do is just swap over the brushes section of the motor. So I need to take this one apart, take this mechanism off, and then take the brushes out and put these brushes in. That's the plan, so I can keep the shaft length, because it's always important to check your shaft length. So that's the magnets and the springs out. Now, tip, don't drop a spring. I've just spent the last 20 minutes trying to find that again. Right, so that's out. They don't spring out. They just have to just put a thing behind them and pry them out. They're quite easy. And then that should just prise off, hopefully. Well, that doesn't just pry off. That is wedged in quite significantly. In fact, I managed to chip a tad of the plastic off there, but I haven't broken it too much. So I don't know quite how that's in so tight, but it is. So what I'm going to do instead is try and clean up the contacts in the motor itself. So I've peeled back the little tabs here and here that hold this outside magnet cage thing off. So that should just pull off now. And with them tabs bent out of the way, the motor just pulls out, and there's the armature. And there is the brushes. And I've had to go at cleaning it. This was a bit black and manky, but I've given it a spray with some cleaner. And if we zoom in, whoop, at that. You can see down in there the brushes. There's one brush, and there's the other brush. And if you look here, that black thing there in that white plastic, that is a resistor. So the power goes in through this film resistor and then down into the brushes. So this motor is actually like a 3-volt motor with a resistor to pot it down. And in fact, if you look there, where's my little zoomy control? There's a zoomy control. Woo! If you look there, down in there, you can see the commutator. Now what I've done, I've got a sharp point, got in there, scraped off all the dirt, because there was quite a lot of dirt and like carbon build up, so that's all gone. Brushes all cleaned up a little bit, and it's all looking quite shiny in there now. So I'll put it back together again and see if it runs better. So the motor is all rebuilt and cleaned, and if I tap, 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 every time I tap it, it runs. I haven't yet had it stop, which is of course what it was doing beforehand. So obviously I'll find a dead point. Excuse the bike going past. So it seems it's fixed and working. That's just me getting in the hole. So I think we're ready to rebuild this now. And that's the weird magnetic clutch thingy fitted with the magnets back in. They went in quite well, and the copper springs in there. Don't know what the copper springs actually do for it. If you have any ideas, leave in the comments why you'd have a copper spring around a magnet. So I think it was the magnet itself that induced a current in the loop there that causes it to rotate. And anyway, that can just slots in like so. He says, "Oh dear, what's gone wrong?" There you go, like that. Right, cover on and see if it works. There you go, it works, it's fixed. And didn't need any new parts in the end, just needed to clean up all the contacts and the commutator in there. So I'll give that back to him, hopefully he'll be nice and happy. That's why I'm going to be one working Land Rover again. Hope you enjoyed that video. If not, then tough, because it was free. So hope you enjoyed that, and see you next time. Bye for now.